Welcome to a little movement class here, a short movement class, about 30 minutes or so. And, oh, my ball's over there. I just wanted, your little pink ball, just wanted to let you know that this class will have some massage ball work. As always, reach out to me if you need help getting access to any of the props we use. These practices are so simple and you don't really have to use this, right? You could just lie and breathe if you don't have a ball today, and we will do some other movement that doesn't involve the ball, but the beginning of the class will be pretty heavy into this today. The first spot that we're going to open up is actually the upper back, and so we'll do a little bit of time on each shoulder. So you'll find that space between your shoulder blade and your spine. It doesn't matter which side, you can start with whatever side calls to you. And then you can either lie back onto the ball, or if, wow, that feels too intense, you can come up and press the ball against the wall. Now start to breathe really deep, full breaths. And one of the reasons I love this massage work is it helps me stay really present with the sensations in my body. Right now in Nowhere Village, we're all talking a lot about healthy communication and how important it is to be able to listen. And so I want you to think of this whole movement class as a practice in listening to the sensations inside your body, listening to the sacred information that's arising all the time in the form of inner sensation. Now, I know I could linger on this work for a very long time, and I encourage you to adapt this into maybe a daily routine if it feels really good to you. But for now, we are going to go ahead and move to the other shoulder. Now you can absolutely move around on top of the ball, or if you're pressing it against the wall, you can roll it around against the wall. But I want to encourage you to also take moments of pause and stillness, where instead of locomoting your body, you let the movement of breath, which is happening always, you let that do the work. And as we do different poses, it's going to become, we'll have our attention kind of split in different parts of the body to do our poses. This is nice though, because your attention really just has to be in one place, right? Wherever you feel that sensation. All right, beautiful. Now I want you to just take a moment and put the ball just right next to you. We're going to use it again in 1 sec. Take the soles of your feet on the floor. Yeah, hands alongside your heels. And we'll just do a few of these. I want you to just raise your arms up, take a big breath in. So now we're moving the spaces that we just opened with the balls. Let your hands arrive, palms up alongside your ears, and then come back down with the hands. That's it. We'll do that 2 more times, just with the arms straight. They come up toward the sky. They land up alongside your ears, above your mat. Maybe your hands touch the ground, depends on the development of your shoulders. And then return. This one, can you really coordinate it with your breath? And so make it really graceful with your breath. Big inhale, take the whole inhale to arc up. Let the inhale fill all these spaces, not just into your shoulders, but also in your belly. And then let the exhale go out slow as the hands return to their starting place. Okay, now hips. Hips are a little interesting. You're gonna take the ball and pin it to the ground underneath the outer hip on one side, whichever side makes the most sense for you. And I'll show you a little closer. That can be really intense. You might have to move to the wall for this one. Right. This is the space I'm talking about right here, right? Sort of below this point of my hip, which is all the way up here, and above the femur. Pretty deep zone. Breathe really deeply here. Notice if you're trying to tense up. And sometimes I'll relax in the area where the ball is, but then I'll tense up somewhere else, like my jaw or my toes. And see if you can actually just let the ease of the exercise spread through the whole body here. Now again, you can move around a little bit. So this massage work for me feels like inner listening work. Like this is how we learn how to not be multitasking, not be telling ourselves stories about what's happening, but actually be with what's happening. Feel it. Be with it. Now we're going to switch sides. You may want to take a big exhale out of your mouth before you roll over to the other side. Allow this to feel complete. Exact same thing on the other side. Take deep breaths. Every time that the mind tries to go elsewhere, you say, honey, this is the work. It's right here. Just be with the body. Be with the feeling. Be kind to your mind. It's wonderful, right? It's just got some training that we are retraining. Maybe you exhale out of the mouth. And then go ahead and make your way onto your back again. And similar to what we did with the arms, I want us to just kind of take this for a little test drive, right? So hug your knees into your chest and then just do a few hip circles, right? You can have your hands on your knees. You could do these however feels intuitive. And just move around the spaces of the hips. And we're going to actually get into some other areas of the hips as well. When you're ready, you're going to go ahead and rock all the way up to sit. And this is kind of an interesting one. We're going to combo opening up hips and hands now. So this is a place where you might want the blanket underneath your knees. Well, one knee at a time. So maybe you might put a blanket halfway up your mat, have your ball nearby, and then come into downward dog. In downward dog, I want you to feel your shoulders and see if you can make more space for your neck spine to lengthen down, which for me, let's see if I could show you this way. So for me, if I feel like kind of scrunched up in the shoulders, and you can look here if you want a little visual. When I'm feeling really scrunched up at the shoulders, I roll my upper arms out and I allow my head to just relax down. My chest naturally starts to press more toward my thighs and I make a lot more space. But it's that kind of rolling out of the arms. And then check in with the space of the hips once you feel that your shoulders are taken care of, right? Check in with your hips. You might want to pedal the feet, and you might be able to kind of feel the spaces in the outer hips that we just worked. Breathe. Okay, now lift your left leg up nice and high. You can open the hip and bend the knee if that feels good. And then step your left foot forward outside of your left hand. This is where that right knee now might want to come onto the blanket. Okay, so this could be enough. And if you don't have a ball, this is where you'll be. If you do have a ball, it's kind of interesting. You can take the ball really under either hand, but I've been enjoying doing it with my left hand. Really either one. So my right hand's on the ground stabilizing. My left foot is on the ground in the middle, and then in the very middle of all of that, again, I'll show you this way, is this ball. And I'm going to work out the ball rolling my hand out. Right? Yep. So now you've got two things going on at once, at least. And so this is an interesting question. Can you make a line, right? Can you feel the hand, feel the right hip? And can you feel a line of energy connecting them? Use the other hand, right? So we'll do both hands on both sides with the hips. So see what happens with the other hand. Just what that feels like as you roll that out. Breathe. Put the ball off to the side. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side now. So make your way back to downward dog. Lift up your right leg. Inhale. Open the hips. Stacking the hips. Exhale. Then stepping the right foot forward to the outside of the right hand and lowering the left knee down. This is plenty if this is where you want to be. Otherwise, go ahead and see what it's like to roll out first the inside hand, or the right hand, while you're stretching this left hip flexor, thigh, quad, while you're breathing deeply. My back toes were just naturally tucked, but I just untucked them. It doesn't matter. Or rather, it does. I mean, it makes a difference. Just notice what you want to do. Make your choice. And then as you're ready, switch sides with the ball. So now I'm going to roll out my other hand. And I'm going to see if there's a relationship between the hand and the hip that's getting a stretch. Ooh, takes some balance there. Great. Okay, now you're going to come back into the downward dog. So you probably have to move that ball off to the side. Come back into downward dog. And then you're going to just walk forward until you end up in a standing forward fold at the front of your yoga mat. And we are going to use the ball one more time for our feet in just a moment. So have that handy. Hang over your legs. Let your head drop. Maybe flutter out your lips. Then round yourself all the way up to stand. And set up for our last point of ball work. And that's going to be the feet. And so we'll just do about 30 seconds on each side. Stand on one foot and put the ball under the other foot. And breathe deeply as you roll that foot out. Switch sides. And this is just like a big part of what I do. My morning practice is like a lot of rolling out right now. And it just feels right? It's my morning practice changes over time. Because of what's going on with me right now, this work has just been so therapeutic. So anything that you like from this, feel free to integrate into your daily routines. Okay. That's it for the ball work for now. Go ahead and put that off to the side. That was plenty, right? For a 30-minute class at least. So Go ahead and stand tall and clear in Tadasana now. Back up a little bit so you can see me. Go ahead and bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart, or do some other mudra that feels sincere, connecting for you this morning, or whatever time it is where you are. Take a moment to check in with your intention, why you do the practice, what you care about today. And now feel the energy moving between these spaces: feet, hips, heart, hands. We've unblocked these areas, and now the energy is flowing. Keep checking in with the flow in those spaces. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine. You could jump or step back as you breathe out. Chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. As you breathe in, upward dog or cobra. As you breathe out, downward facing dog. Stay in downward facing dog and breathe deeply. Do you feel the energy now being able to travel between your feet and the earth, between your hands and the earth? Between your hands and your shoulders, between your feet and your hips. Feel energy flowing between your heart and your hips. Great. Look forward. You could either step or hop your feet forward between your hands as you breathe out. Breathing in, lengthen your spine, straight legs. Breathing out, fold down into your legs. Breathing in, come all the way up, reach up and look up. Breathing out, stand tall and clear in Tadasana with your gaze straight ahead. Intention clear in your heart. Again, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. As you breathe out, hop or step back and lower down. As you breathe in, open up the front body, coming to the tops of the feet, spreading out the front of your chest and throat. Downward dog as you breathe out. And now we'll go into a little sequence here. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, step that foot forward between your hands. Lift the left arm up as you breathe in, so you're in a low lunge twist. All right, stay here 5 breaths. You should be able to feel that outer left hip that we rolled out earlier. Breathe 2. Feel the contrast between the head and the back heel, right? Feel how they pull away from each other to make space. Feel your core engaged. Last breath. Now from here, we're actually going to come all the way up to Warrior 2. Kind of an interesting transition. Push down into your feet and then come all the way up. Don't be afraid to get a deep, low stance. Gaze over your left fingers and breathe for 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Okay, you're going to straighten your front leg. You're going to parallel your feet to the side. Interlace the fingers behind your back, or maybe you want a belt between your hands. Lift up through your chest, and then hinge at your hips and fold forward in a straddle forward fold. Stay here and breathe. 1. 2. Where is the attention, right? Has it gone off somewhere else? Has the mind said, oh, this is more important? the way that you listen to your body, you listen to your inner experience, this is how you listen to others in the world, right? Are we half listening, placating? Or are you really, really deeply present, willing to be affected by what we learn inside, what we hear? Big exhale. And then just simply take the hands to the ground. Lift up through your chest, and you'll make your way to low lunge facing the front of your yoga mat yet again. Step back to plank pose and breathe in deep. Option to take a vinyasa here. Inhale. And exhale. We meet in downward dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up. No rush at all. Follow the rhythm of your breath. As you exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. Inhale, lift the right arm into the sky. Stay here and breathe. In a low lunge twist 1. 2, notice where you feel the sensations in the body. Notice where you feel the energy flowing. 4. 5. Warrior 2. So you engage your core, press into your feet, push the ground away, cartwheel the arms up until you're facing the chest the other way. Gaze over right fingers once you arrive and settle in for 1. Feel how the breath is purifying you in this pose. 2. 3. Feel how the posture is strengthening you. 4. 5. Straighten the front leg, parallel your feet to the side. You could do the same arm variation that you did before, or a different one if you want. Lift up through the chest on the inhale, and then fold forward on the exhale. Notice where you feel sensation. And I often use the strategy of starting with the feet, right? Going from the foundation up and kind of scanning the body for sensation. If nothing in the pose calls out right away, if something calls out, then you listen, right? It's like a baby crying. You attend to that before you attend to something that feels less important. So I'll take one more breath here. In and out. Taking the hands down to the ground, lifting up your chest and mindfully transitioning to a low lunge facing the front of your yoga mat yet again. Stepping back to plank pose. Option to take yourself through a vinyasa. Downward dog. Now we're going to do those poses as a flow now and just add on 2 poses at the end. And that's going to be all of our standing sequence for today. Inhale, lift the left leg up. So try to really stay with the rhythm of your breath now. Exhale, set the foot down between your hands. Start to lift the left arm. Breathe in. Warrior 2 transition. Breathe out. So push the floor away. Come all the way up. Straighten the front leg. Transition into the straddle. So interlace fingers. Lift your heart as you face the side. Fold as you breathe out. Take the hands down, lift up through your chest, turn to face the front again. We're back in low lunge. Here's what I'd love for you to add on, Ardha Chandrasana, maybe with your block. So the left toes face forward, the weight comes onto your left hand, maybe onto the block. And then the right arm comes up. Right hip on top of left. Breathe 1. Breathe deeply for 2. If there's some other variation of this pose that you love to take, you can take it. 3. 4. 5. Look down. Here's where we're going. Utkatasana. You're going to step your right foot next to your left. You can leave the block behind once you're stable on 2 feet. Squeeze your inner legs together. Take your arms alongside your ears. Twist it. So hands to prayer. Twist to your right. Left arm outside of the right leg. Gaze over your right shoulder for 1. 2. Be with the sensation. 3. Breathe. 4. Lean back your heart. 5. Inhale, come all the way up. So all the way, straight legs, reach up. And then exhale, fold right back over your legs. Big breath out. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Meet me in a downward dog again. Maybe you just feel like stepping back, but if you want to hop back, you can. Upward dog, breathing in. Downward dog, breathing out. Last side. Let it flow with breath. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we put the foot forward between the hands. Start to lift the right arm and find the inhale. Low lunge twist, warrior 2 as you breathe out, transition. Straddle transition, straighten the front leg, parallel the feet. Interlace fingers, breathe in. Fold forward, take your time and let all the air go out. Hands down, lifted chest as you breathe in. Turn to face the front of the mat, Ardha Chandrasana transition as you breathe out. Weight on right foot and right hand, maybe with the block. This one will hold 5 breath cycles, so stack. Left shoulder on top of right, left hip on top of right, and then expand out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Our Utkatasana, sorry. So look down, left foot comes next to the right foot. Sit your hips back deep and low and squeeze your inner legs together. Find that connection to center line. Arms up, breathe in. Twist to the left, breathe out. So the right arm catches outside of the left leg. Hands in prayer, gaze over your left shoulder. Breathe 1. 2. 3. Breathe. 4. And 5. Okay, you're going to come all the way up, 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 up. Straighten the legs. Big breath in. Reach up. And then let the arms just settle. Come back to Tadasana. Gaze straight ahead at the horizon. Close your eyes and just feel the energy between feet and crown of head. All the spaces we've opened, strengthened. All the places we've loved and paid attention to. They are now vibrant and connected and speaking to each other. One last time, raise your arms up. And one last time, dive over your legs. Meet me in downward facing dog. However you want to get there is perfect and fine by me. Okay, look forward, and then you're going to hop or step all the way through to a seat. Now, come and lie down on your back with a block nearby, if you have it. If you don't, again, you can always do this work just with the way that you attend to the spaces without the props. But I do love props. Okay. So the block is going to go under your sacrum, under the bony plate below the low back and above the flesh of the tush. So you should feel it. You should feel it connect to something that feels like hard and flat. Okay. Breathe here, and this might be enough for you. Otherwise, pick up your left leg. Just go ahead and reach your left leg into the air and roll the ankle a couple times in one direction and a couple times in the other. And then cross the left ankle over your right thigh. Let the left knee fall forward and down, and you'll feel a stretch, but if you want to deepen the stretch, you can hug the right knee in. Now, we usually do this without the block under the sacrum. I really like the effect of the block there, but if you don't, move it. 3 more breaths, just really big breaths, like each inhale could just last and last and last. And then let the exhale fall away without pushing it. And then let it keep going and going and going until you're super empty. And then do that again. Alrighty. Really simple, just put the feet back on the ground. Take a moment and just listen to the body between sides. Notice if there's a real difference. Then pick up the right leg. Roll your right ankle. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. First, before you even hug the left thigh in, notice what's possible here just by hooking that right foot, but dropping the right knee forward and down. And then if you want to accentuate that stretch, you could hug the left knee in and just notice you may have to adjust on your block or shift it. Breathe deeply. One more inhale, let it last, and fill and fill and fill. And then exhale without pushing it, but noticing that it does keep going if you let it. If you let it, your belly will pull all the way back to the spine and make you totally empty. And then go ahead and put the feet back on the ground. Bridge pose. So I want you to really engage through your feet and through your belly and lift your hips up. And so lift the hips up, and you could either just keep the block there and kind of grip the block, bridge, or you could put the block off to the side, interlace the fingers, or final option, if you feel like you're game for it, hands alongside the ears, and you could actually take a full wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now I want you to choose one closing posture that feels really good to you. A twist on the back is a really nice one, right? Should be like this. Inversion, I usually try to make sure there's at least time for one inversion in every single class. Those are important. And that can be as simple as inversion just means that your heart is below your hips, basically. Right? And usually it's accentuated if the legs and the hips are above the heart. And so the most extreme versions, of course, we have are like headstand, where you're totally upside down, but you could also just lift your legs up, feet up, and maybe lift your hips up on something, right? A blanket or a block. Whatever you choose to do, I would love for you to feel a kind of permission. Now that it's the end of class, some of you have been with me, live online for the last whole hour, we've been meditating and chanting. you spent this time listening inside and awakening the parts of you that have been neglected or stagnant. You can feel really good about that. And really, we don't have to do good deeds to to deserve ease. And make your way to Shavasana, okay? No rush. If you're finishing up something, totally fine. But I want you to make your way into to either full Shavasana, legs extended, arms extended, or some other restorative pose where you could be for 2 whole minutes without moving at all. Settle in deeply. Like I was saying, we don't actually need to earn, quote unquote, ease, but we are conditioned to believe we do, and so let's use that, right? Remind yourself you did it. You've done all the work, and now it's time to just relax, be held. Check in with those areas we opened: feet, hips, shoulders, hands. And envision or feel a smooth, gentle, healing energy moving between those spaces, calling you down into rest. Now, if it feels like you would like to practice a little longer or rest a little deeper, you can stay. But if you feel ready to close the practice, you want to move very slowly. There is a way for us to move again without losing the deep listening. Notice when you lose it, and notice what you've done. Have you moved a bit too fast? Have you let those ideas that there's something more important flood? What can you do to slow down again so that you can come all the way up to sit without losing that connection and receptivity to your inner world? Always good to close the practice with a gesture of sincerity. I'm going to chant one Om. You're welcome to join me from wherever you are, or just receive. Bowing down to the love and the wisdom inside of all beings everywhere. Ambolo Shri Sadguru Mata Devi Ki.